Welcome to Beyond Profile. Today is December 6th, and we are a little bit higher this morning than where we left it yesterday. Yesterday we had a little bit of a scare from the S&Ps talking about downgrading some of those countries in Europe and caused the market to pull in off of its highs. And today, with us being basically about flat to where we left it yesterday, one of the things that we're starting to see here, and we'd like to actually see, is some structure built up in this area. Now, if you look at what happened, obviously last week we had woken up to the gap up, and then Wednesday we gapped up even further, and we continued to run. We had, come out of this balance area down here back into this prior area here that looked like it was going to fail. We had extension down to the 1157s, back up inside of it. Ultimately, what we'd like to see this week, because we are kind of light on economic data, there's really nothing in the on the calendar here. Like last week, we had a lot. Would be something if we could get a little balanced structure creating here. Now, whether or not we come back down and fill this gap, only time would tell on that one. Maybe the gap fill here. We came close to yesterday's open in the overnight here, but didn't even fill that, but very close. Is to start to build structure. What you want to see is a market that can build acceptance at a certain area in order for us to go to this 1300 level before the end of the year. It would be nice to see this build, because the further we go without some sort of structure, the more we have like a two-legged stool, if you will, with one leg just about ready to be taken out. So when we start looking at structure from the marketplace, this is what this would be healthy this week. Build some structure, some rotation up in this area, and what we can use that as is a base to look for our next launch up into, like I said, 1300s, back to probably to the highs. We had, if we look at a composite of the whole year, I know the high volume area is right in this 1300 area, right at the bottom of this breakdown when we left it in August. And that's really my objective before the end of the year. I think, again, if you look at how far we traveled in just a week from like 1150s to 1250s, what's to think that we can't go 50 points more here in the next 3 weeks before Christmas or even before the New Year to get us to that 1300 level. So as we work this area, what we're going to want to see, obviously, is structure being built in the marketplace. Talk about structure on a 30-minute time frame. If you look at the S&P, from yesterday's point of control, which is way up on the top side here, you can see this profile on the right hand side is the weekly being generated for the week. I know we've only been trading a couple days, but you could see that it's kind of top heavy up here. The volume was going off up at the highs here. And when you begin to look at what we have underneath us, we have a naked point of control at 43.25. That's where I'm thinking that we could get down to even today. Because if you remember, this 59 area was pretty thin in here yesterday. When we came through it down below the IB, it was quick and it was furious. And we broke down, straight. Look at these candles, right straight back down. We never really had a retest of this 59 area, except now we're getting it pre-market here before the market's even opening. So this area, all the way back down, we could go into a 30-point balanced trading area if we had to in this area. And then you've got another naked down here at 1235s for the ES market to get back down to that level. And again, if you look at the bigger picture of things, isn't that exactly what we were kind of drawing on the chart? Structure, unfair highs, unfair low territory here somewhere around that 1234. And of course this one would be a long ways back down if we got all the way to 1198. But what you really want to see, if you look at a 30-minute, you're actually making higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. This one here may not make a higher high. This might start to roll over and start the trend maybe back down. Looking at, again, from a larger time frame perspective, I'm looking for structure. So this is what we're looking for, in the charts today, and looking at how the market will facilitate trade today as we get going this morning. All right, so keep that in mind. This week should be a structure building process, starting to put the foundation on the house, if you will, before they start to resurrect the walls up. Would be one of the healthiest things we could see this week for this market. Okay. And keep in mind, too, remember the NASDAQ running just slightly behind the S&P. It's got a little bit more weakness. The last couple of days have actually, every time we've opened up, we've sold off on that. 2310s on the NASDAQ is a huge area for the NQ to hold on to. And so far, yesterday we gapped back up over it, and we're still above it this morning. So that area is a launching pad for the rocket ship in the NASDAQ to go back to the 2400 area. Okay, folks, have a good trading day, and we'll see you in the room.